Before we begin, if you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel. Every story shared in our community reminds someone that even broken hearts can find healing again. The message arrived just before noon. If he wasn't married by the following day, he would lose everything his late grandfather had spent a lifetime building. Adrian Mercer stared at the legal document with trembling hands. The family company, thousands of employees, and a promise made decades earlier all depended on one impossible condition. He needed a wife by tomorrow. Desperate and running out of time, he walked into a small neighborhood cafe where fate introduced him to a quiet woman whose first words would change his life forever. She looked into his eyes and whispered, "Only if you promise me 3 things." Adrian was one of the youngest business owners in the country, but success had come with loneliness. His parents had died years earlier, and his grandfather had raised him with discipline and compassion. Unknown to Adrian, his grandfather had added one final clause to his will. The company could only pass to someone who understood family, not just business. If Adrian remained unmarried by the deadline, control would pass to a distant relative known for greed and corruption. Frustrated, Adrian left his office and wandered into the cafe. There he noticed a woman helping an elderly customer carry groceries to a nearby bench before returning to her untouched lunch. Her name was Evelyn Brooks. She worked as a children's librarian and spent every spare moment caring for her younger sister, who was recovering from a serious illness. Adrian didn't normally believe in impossible ideas, but desperation pushed him forward. He honestly explained his situation without hiding how ridiculous it sounded. He expected Evelyn to laugh or walk away. Instead, she remained silent for a moment. Then she softly said, "Only if you promise me 3 things." The first promise was that he would never treat the marriage as a business contract but always with respect. The second was that he would help her ensure her sister received the medical treatment she needed without expecting anything in return. The third promise surprised him most. If, after 1 year, either of them wished to walk away, they would do so without anger, lies, or revenge. Adrian agreed immediately. The following afternoon, under bright sunshine in a quiet courthouse garden, they signed the marriage papers with only a retired judge and 2 witnesses present. It wasn't romantic. There were no flowers, no orchestra, and no family cheering. Yet something about Evelyn's calm smile gave Adrian a feeling he hadn't experienced in years: peace. News of the marriage spread quickly through the company. Many executives assumed it was fake. Some mocked Evelyn because she wasn't wealthy or famous. Adrian defended her every single time. As weeks passed, Evelyn never acted like the wife of a billionaire. She continued working at the library, greeted every employee with kindness, and learned the names of the security guards, janitors, and receptionists before she ever spoke to senior executives. Gradually, people noticed something remarkable. The atmosphere inside the company began changing. Employees smiled more. Managers listened instead of shouting. Charity projects expanded. Evelyn quietly suggested creating scholarships for workers' children and emergency funds for struggling families. Adrian approved every idea. For the first time, he realized leadership wasn't about power. It was about people. Months later, Adrian discovered why Evelyn had insisted on those 3 promises. Years earlier, she had been engaged to someone who cared only about money. When her sister became seriously ill, he abandoned them both. Since then, Evelyn had promised herself she would never enter another relationship unless respect came before wealth. Her honesty touched Adrian deeply. Meanwhile, Evelyn saw another side of Adrian few people knew. Behind the confident businessman was a lonely man who still visited his grandfather's favorite park every Sunday afternoon, carrying flowers and silently thanking the man who had taught him kindness. Their marriage slowly stopped feeling temporary. They laughed together, cooked together, volunteered together. Without realizing it, they had become the family neither believed they would ever have. Then another challenge arrived. The greedy relative who had expected to inherit the company hired investigators hoping to prove the marriage was fraudulent. Lawyers examined every document. Reporters followed them. Rumors spread through social media. The pressure became overwhelming. One afternoon the investigators interviewed employees, expecting someone to admit the marriage was fake. Instead, dozens of workers described seeing Adrian and Evelyn supporting families, visiting hospitals, helping community projects, and treating every employee with dignity. No one believed their relationship was an act anymore. The investigation ended. The inheritance remained exactly where Adrian's grandfather had intended. That evening Adrian took Evelyn back to the same cafe where they first met. He placed 3 folded pieces of paper on the table. Each contained one of the promises she had asked him to make. Every promise had been kept. Then Adrian quietly admitted something he hadn't expected. He no longer wanted a marriage based on a deadline. He wanted a lifetime beside the woman who had taught him that success meant nothing without compassion. Tears filled Evelyn's eyes. She reached across the table and held his hand. No grand speech was needed. Both already knew the answer. 1 year later, instead of ending their agreement, they celebrated their first real wedding anniversary surrounded by employees, neighbors, children from Evelyn's library, and families whose lives had improved because of the company they had transformed together. The business became more successful than ever, not because profits came first, but because people did. Adrian often smiled when remembering the impossible day he thought he needed a wife to save a company. Instead, he had found someone who saved his heart. Before this story ends, we'd love to hear from you. If you had to choose one promise that should exist in every marriage, what would it be? Leave a meaningful comment below because your words may inspire someone searching for hope today. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember, true love rarely begins with perfect timing or perfect circumstances. Sometimes it begins with 2 wounded hearts, 3 sincere promises, and the courage to believe that kindness can build a future stronger than any fortune.